everyone, it's Catherine. Today I wanted to share with you a mid-month update for what I've read so far in October. October is probably the month that I look most forward to and as far as my reading, planning, and enjoyment goes. And that is because it is what I call my Gothtober. I love Gothic fiction, and so I always try to kind of make my October full of Gothic influenced books. And another reason is because my husband and I always do a buddy read every October of a Gothic book. What have I read so far? Well, of course, I always prioritize my Bible reading, and so right now I am reading doing my Fall into the Gospels challenge that I made, and I'm using this Life Counsel Bible. It's the CSB translation, and I am enjoying the CSB. This is the first time I've ever read through fully the CSB, and I'm enjoying it. And then when we went to the used bookstore, I was looking for certain novels, and my husband was going through the comics, and so he found me a couple comics from my Christian comic collection. These are all from Spire Comics, so if you want to know more about Christian comics and its history, and I have a video that you can watch about that. But this one is called Noah's Ark, and it was a really good, very it followed the story very well from the Bible. The art was really cute. I mean, look, it's from the 70s, and it was very good. I enjoyed this the way they told the story in here. And then he found, this is another one the art was by Al Hartley, and it's about these two twin brothers. Their dad is a missionary, out in the jungle, the rainforest area, and they go and visit him, and there's these two tribes that are fighting, and one's like a rebel army, and so they get attacked by them, and they it's them finding their way through that mess. And so it was a really good story, and the art was really good, and it was just enjoyable. It was an enjoyable read. And then My Brother's Keeper, and this is a retelling of Joshua. It would have been modern in the 70s, not so modern now, but so it's a family business, and I just thought he even looks like the guy who's supposed to be like the Joshua, even looks very 70s. I just love it. It has great artwork. It was a really cool retelling in a modern version of Joshua. And then I sent the snip of this to my sister, and I said, "This is hilarious. This is supposed to be Potiphar's wife." And she says, "But you shall learn as all the others have learned. I am irresistible." I just thought it was hilarious. Yeah, I just really enjoyed it anyways. So those were my fun vintage comics for the month. Thank you to my husband for finding them. And so then another vintage fun thing that my husband found recently on eBay, it's been several months, but I've been waiting to read it for October, for my Gothtober, and that is The Munsters. And it's called A Scene on TV series or something, and there was a whole bunch of them from these TV shows, from the 60s. And this one's called The Great Camera Caper. And so the house, their neighbor, they go away on vacation, and then this Hollywood movie company comes in, and they're going to record a movie in the house, in their neighbor's house. And the guy's like, "But your house is very unsightly. We can't have it." So they put a cover and what are the things that they block, a front face or something in front of their house and they get involved in the movie, and it's just like you're watching the TV show, you know, all the little madcaps and stuff that they get into. And yeah, it was fun. I gave it 3 stars. It was an enjoyable read, and I just loved the TV show, The Munsters. It was fun. Anyways, so I read that. And then this book has been floating around on Goodreads, and I'm like, ooh, that sounds good, you know, but I don't read a lot of YA. I don't read a lot of, you know, fantasy, but I had to give it a chance because it said cozy and Gothic. And that was Wormwood Abby by Christina Bear. And I loved this book. This was great. I liked it so much. I'm like, when a book is hard to know if it's a 4 or a 5, you know, and you think, well, I'll give it a 4.5, but I hardly ever give points, right? Like, because to put it on Goodreads, you can't do a point. So I gave it 4, but it's almost a 5. It's so good. Like, I can't wait to read the second one. But Edith is a young, she's 21, it says in the story, and she lives with her family. Her dad is a clergyman, and of course it's in England, in the Yorkshire area, and he inherits his ancestral home. So they go, and that's Wormwood Abbey. And she finds out a lot about herself and her family and this abbey, and it is cozy, very cozy, has very Gothic feel to it. There's dragons, there's romance, or a start of a romance. It's just very good. Mystery. I highly recommend Wormwood Abbey, and I can't wait to read the second one. Then I just finished it today, Beyond Ivy Walls by, what's her name? Rachel Fordham. And this was another, is it 4 or 5? I don't know. It's like right there in the middle. Like, I absolutely liked this book. It was very much had a Beauty and the Beast feel, but then it also very much had a Phantom of the Opera feel. And Phantom of the Opera being my favorite musical, Beauty and the Beast being my favorite Disney princess and movie. So you knew I would be gravitating to it. But this story, y'all, it was so good. So good. I teared up at the end. And now I did figure out the mystery about Elizabeth. Like, I did figure out that like pretty early on, but it didn't hinder any of the story for me about Elizabeth. That was very touching, and just their romance was so good. And yeah, so many things about this book. Just I understand. Let's just say, with my facial problems, I understand. And I very much like this book, very much. What a wonderful romantic story, especially for this time of year. So good, so good. It's probably gonna get 5. And then right now I am working on, of course, the buddy read with my husband, which I'll have to put a picture up here, which is The Mysteries of Udolpho. And I'm very much liking that. It's a 4. I probably won't make it a 5. I don't know. It's just so lengthy. And I don't know. That's not a reason not to give it 5 though, but I don't know. It just takes a lot of time. But one thing I will say about The Mysteries of Udolpho is that, okay, so I'm buddy reading it. Usually my husband and I, we read it aloud. But this year we decided, since it is like, you know, almost over 700 pages or something, we're just going to buddy read it and talk about it as we go. So I asked him, I said, right now I'm about 48% through, I think it says. I'm reading it on the Kindle. And I said, have you noticed how many times the word fortitude is in there? Fortitude. It's like in every paragraph. And he's like, no, I haven't even noticed. Well, then it kind of came to me later, like, maybe that is like, I don't know. Some people say God can only speak through the scripture, but I don't know. Sometimes I think God talks to me through other things. And just, I feel like the Holy Spirit was reminding me of that word fortitude, and that I do have that, and to keep going forward. And I don't know. I just found that interesting, that word, that particular word stood out to me so much, and my husband didn't even notice it. So anyways, and so then after I am reading that, and then the nonfiction I am working on is called Relaxed by Megan Marshman, and it's really good. I'm enjoying it very much. I recommend it. And then I'm not done with it yet. And then I have also read another Gothic, which is in the works of Victoria Holt, which I'm trying to read, most of her work. I read The Brides of Pandoric, and I gave it 3 stars. It's pretty much Rebecca. I mean, totally. It's totally pretty much Rebecca, just in the 70s. And so yeah, I just gave it 3 stars because it was pretty much a redo. And then I've read Experiencing God as Your Father, which is by Mark DeJesus, and I would recommend this book. I recently found him on YouTube, and I was like, he said in the first video I watched of him, he said something, and I was like, he nailed it right there. That just, woo, for me personally, And so I was like, I'm going to read one of this man's books. And so I have, and I'm going to read, it's like, this is like a series of 3, so I need to read the 2nd and the 3rd one now. And so look him up. His name is Mark. It's like D-E and then Jesus. I don't know if it's Jesus or DeJesus or however you say that. But he's very, he ministers to me, we'll just say that, in his videos. So that's what I've been reading, and I hope everybody's having a great October. I do plan to have some more videos this month, sharing about my Bible journaling and how I do my Bible study. I thought that would be fun to share. And I also made a tag that I want to do. That was one of my personal challenges for this year. So I've made one, and I'm going to film a video for that soon. So I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your month of reading. If you're doing Victober, I hope you're enjoying that. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.